don't remember what's wrong and what's right. The world is dead, but we stay. 'Cause we are born as live and fight. We live to die. We live to die. And we surrounded by the night. We live to die. We are shadows in the neon light. We are shadows in the neon light. We are shadows in the neon. We are
Okay. Okay, we didn't hold the 454, which makes sense perfectly. We did pop into slight liquidity right before open. Right over that overnight high. See if we go for a gap fill. Two strong bear candles in a row. We do have the Jolt job openings at 11, half an hour into the open here. That's the only news that I'm aware of in our session here. got to remember that. And Facebook, how we doing? Nice. Definitely picked up Facebook right at, I waited all day yesterday for it to hit the gap fill. And like half an hour before close, we hit the gap fill. So I went long. Hopefully we get good follow through today. And I want to see it back up above 334. Be great. Black Friday deals are coming up. Time to buy another monitor. Mr. Elon's selling more Tesla shares too. There's a nice gap fill between a gap at 903 or 913 or something. I'm looking at the daily chart to 950. I got some alerts set in there. The right price action in there might be a decent pickup. Is that a one tick poke below the low a day? That is a one tick poke so far. We did get one nice bullish candle there. Let's see if it fails this one tick extension. Never mind. So we're still waiting. Big chillin'. 4 bear candles in a row on the 5-minute chart. Went through the first liquidity areas, no problem. There'll be some more down under 50.25. And then again at 48. Is there one that lines up with gap fill? Yes. So 43.50 lines up with gap fill. That overnight low underneath there would be big stops if we get that far. Still pretty clean push. Hitting the moving average here. Decent spot to take some off if you're gonna trade. It's not reacting quite yet though. Still looking at this market, definitely more and more to literally come straight to 43.50. Under it a little bit. Even better. We failed to break over yesterday's high though, so far. Checking the low first, maybe check a little bit under. $37.75. Oh, that's that low, I see. I missed a line in my pre-work. This one. Okay. Those are our daily levels. inside candle. It's a pretty strong push. It's gone 2 ticks so far. It's close to a setup for us, but not quite. I didn't expect to really get one to the gap fill unless I took it up here. Definitely not struggling at all. The move is pretty pretty clean so far. Gap fill targets are getting pretty close. Maybe some front running action going on here. Gonna check above 48, 75 here, I bet. Right above that little green candle. If they can make it. To tag 49. Let's see if it happens. That would hit some stops on these last couple breakout traders right here. Anyone who broke out traded 46.75, their stop is probably right here. Right there. Do we get absorption or do we get a slide? Yeah. Decent 2-bar reversal, kind of, I guess, off the bottom. It's almost a gap fill area. The zone makes sense for sure. It just ended up getting front ran a little bit. Almost made it to the true target. Shorts right now are definitely debating on their position. Some probably are already out. I still have a short bias for now. Not interested in shorting under this. It's possible setup, but I'd be more interested in one more attempt and then a failure. It is pretty early in the session though. It could just go off the low one. Not interested though. Was almost the setup, but we got a little stall and correction here, so can't be interested in a low one for me. Tesla selling. Facebook's kind of whatever. Bitcoin's still doing whatever too. Anyone who broke out traded 47.25, stop out 50.50, and you're still looking for that ultimate target below 43 or around 43. This comes up and comes back above and hits these stops and creates a low 2 opportunity. I would then be interested, especially if it like barely tested above and failed. Could argue a higher low long too. Still though, like that 50-50 level is important. See if they test it again here. We've got 15 minutes to the jolt openings. Oh, there we poked above it. One tick poke. We get a nice signal candle off this. It's looking okay so far. It's looking pretty juicy. If it goes all the way before it closes though, that's gonna suck for me. All right, I'm gonna take this short if it gives it to me. I really like that one tick poke failure. Stops 2 ticks above. Still looking for that gap fill failure. Right here. 43 is my target. So far I got bottom tick filled, which is pretty sick. Definitely kind of want this to go quicker at this time of day, especially because it did it twice. We'd want it to kind of catch people off guard. So it didn't one tick poke below, so we're still holding. This will be our retest. It's a scary retest. Still like the trade a lot though. Just nice. It actually went one tick above that previous candle, which couldn't be better. It couldn't be better for this thing to continue for me at this point. If this candle now goes lower, can remove some risk to this new high of 49. If this candle goes lower. No, that's the wrong way, Jimmy. Tesla's still selling. Nice. Facebook's holding. Bitcoin's doing whatever. We're chilling. We're waiting. Still looks good. It may make a higher low, but we're holding. We're strategy makes sense at this location. Some hesitation going on here. It is struggling to get going, that's for sure. Haven't made a lower low underneath that doji candle that poked up, so I haven't been able to remove any risk quite yet. Just gonna be patient. Checking the same level still. Definitely some congestion down here. Really looking for this thing to come down and break 46 and a quarter. It's pretty important. Anybody who removed risk too early probably just got cut out of the trade. Now we can remove some risk. We've now hit double bottom to the tick. Still not looking for that for an exit. Move my stop to 49 and a quarter now. One tick above this test that just happened. If it comes back up and takes me out off a double bottom at that level, I don't want to be in the trade anyway, so. It is definitely struggling to get down there. Definitely some buys at this level, at this location. It might hold the double bottom. We're still chilling. We've managed the risk. We moved it to where the stop's supposed to be. Just waiting. It's definitely choppy at this point. I would have liked to see at least a 1 tick poke below. If I got the 1 tick poke and then this happened, I would probably be out of the trade by now. But I don't like to see, I don't have any faith in double bottoms that test the same level without a stop check first, but might hold. "30 seconds left in this 5-minute candle." Sure looks like they're gonna stop us out, but that's okay. I did exactly what I was supposed to. It's the way of the road. Okay. Looks like it held. They're gonna hold it to the tick. So 5-minute chart now has double bottomed. Fairly close to gap fill level, not quite, but it was close enough. So for now, our short bias has been swapped to long bias for now. I don't classify that as a two-legged pullback because it did a double bottom first. That was a really clean setup to not have any follow through. Thoroughly enjoyed that, actually. Felt great. Teased me. Did not expect a perfect double bottom. Looking for one more little flush, but we didn't get it. But we did what we were supposed to. Be curious to see if it actually reverses off that perfect double bottom. It could. What's our volume count like in the session so far? Pretty low. Actually extremely low. Now there is the Jolt news in 3 minutes, 2 minutes, so be careful for that. Oh nice, Facebook held and is moving. Beautiful. What a good buy yesterday at the close. Should open this so I can see it. That'd be good. Okay. I don't know if the volume participation is really low because of the news in 1 minute, I assume. See if we get some volume step in after that. Could get a little bit of volatility, hard to say. Still, I'm gonna be patient on Tesla. Definitely interested in it at that gap fill level though. Low 900s. Gonna be watching for a buy setup. But I'm gonna be patient. It might take a few days to get there. So we're chilling. See what this news does to the markets here. A little bit of volatility coming into the news here. Do we hold the low to confirm the reversal pattern? Pretty low risk entry. Stop house right there. If it holds, big risk to reward ratio, but so the news was good, I guess. Slightly higher number than they forecasted. So there's some open jobs out there, folks. Slightly more than they expected. The bottom's trying to hold. Confirm that reversal pattern. If we can get a break up above 51.75 or whatever it was. Yeah, 51.75. Curious to see if volume picks up in this next half an hour period. Looks okay. People who got into a reversal could have even taken one contract out or half your position or something if you wanted just the pop test of the top, but ultimately if the pattern played out, your target would be above here. We had a similar situation like this, but to the upside the other day. And the low volume participation also caused me to not get any follow through. Mind you, I wasn't looking for a lot of follow through at all, but there was none. Coiling here, getting stuck a little bit. I don't know if this sell-off of volatility was just algos getting rid of their position real quick before the news. It happened 1 minute before the news. I'd have a slight increase in volume a little bit. Was a nice touch, almost a nice touch of the moving average. Test the low here again. If this reversal pattern is gonna hold, it's gonna have to break the top of this 5-minute wick here before we break this bottom. And it would look good if it did for a nice move to the upside, just because there's nothing else. We didn't really stall at all on the way down, so you know, if we successfully break above, there'd be a good test to high a day probably. There's no more news on the calendar until after lunch. Doesn't really concern me. So I can go ahead and close this and close this. We got Kathy Wood saying buy the dip on 3D systems. Holy. This was a hard buy, but it was another opportunity to buy, risking off this low. Still expecting this high to break for the simple, you know, possible reversal in play. We kind of got the first step to breaking the stair stepping down. Now if we can hold the retest and break again, then I would be leaning for that test to high a day. Bitcoin poked a little low. Yeah, the nasty megaphone pattern happening there. Looks like the reversal pattern is going to give us a target. There it is. There's your first target off your reversal entry. What? That's like a 3-to-1 trade right there. Next target would be a high day test. You could also remove some risk. If your stop was originally below here, you could move it to here. Only a few ticks, but it's something. I have like a slight edge right there potentially. Was a nice reversal entry. That was such low risk, high reward. But man, I just wasn't comfortable taking a position right there into that news. And then the longer it sat here, I also wasn't interested in buying like that. That's all right. It was a good mean reversion trade there. Now you could say we've had a two-legged pullback on the 5-minute chart after the reversal. Good little pullback test there. Knock out some breakout traders, kind of put them in pressure. Anybody who was trying to try this breakout. Maybe our rising support holds a little bit, maybe not. I'm quite interested to see if there's some follow through to the upside here and we actually get a higher day test, or if we if maybe a two-legged pullback was enough. Test off the moving average. Not interested in a buy yet. If we got a little bit lower in the next candle or two, could be interested. Not a bad entry though, just a little bit early for me with us not really having huge momentum at all. Coming into like a channel potentially. We'll see if this one goes just a smidge lower. I have a long bias. If we can get the right setup on the 1 minute chart here, we'll take a swing at a long. I'd kind of want to see a 1 or 2 tick dip and then rejection though pretty much right away. Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we print 49? We printed. Do we hold? Oh, that looks alright. I like it. Low risk here. Good little trade, actually. I'd like to be in with 2. Beauty. Stop 2 ticks under. I like the 1 tick poke. See if we can get a little bit of follow through. That's not the direction of follow through that I was looking for. Gonna want to see the bids kind of pretty much slam in right here, right now, just like that. Don't want to see it get rejected though. It's pretty important that we get up over this 51.25. Extremely important, actually. Didn't happen yet. Don't want to see it get rejected at the top. First target will be a little bit above here, kind of on this trend line, if we can actually get up here, and then the next one will be a little bit closer to the high of day. It's kind of what I'm looking for. If we can even get over this little swing point here, it's kind of what we're looking for. Doesn't look horrible. I like the setup. Can we get over 51.25 this time? It's pretty important. Okay. We get a little bit of follow through. 52.50. Probably we'll get a break-even test here, I would imagine. Here comes the break-even test. Now we want this to hold. If this candle holds the break-even test and the next candle goes higher, in theory, we should get our first target. That'd be the ideal situation. Bitcoin's selling off a little bit. We're gonna try to break that 62.7 low, maybe. See if we can get our first target here. Don't want to see a double top. That's for sure. Nice, there's our first target. Beautiful. See if we get a little bit of a push. It's a nice close on that candle. Right at this trend line though is the only thing that makes me slightly nervous. To see if we can get a little bit of a push here. I think that's set to 2 contracts still, isn't it? Yeah, I don't want it to be 2. We're getting some indecision here a little bit. I will say that a failure to break this channel, yeah. I was gonna say it's gonna come back down quick if it fails to break this channel. See, probably as I was saying it, you know, it's like, we're gonna fail to break this channel. It happened so quickly. Maybe it would have been better to just take both contracts at the channel top instead of expecting it to, you know, encourage to go further. See if it holds one tick below this, because now I'm already back to break even on the second contract again. Almost could have just got it in a second trade down here instead of holding this thing through this whole pullback. And really, this 5-minute chart could come all the way down to my stop, no problem. Just gonna hit the ask here and close it on break even +1. Ultimately, it may come up and hit my target before it would have hit my stop, but looking at this 5-minute chart, see these candles never ever made a low under one another. Technically, our swing point's down here off this guy. We know that there'd be major liquidity if the chart got back to here. Lots of these people, just like what just happened to me right now, they might not get rid of the position and end up taking a stop out down here. And the chart could still come here and be bullish and then come right back up. I just don't want to get caught in that. Realistically, I guess I shouldn't have had high expectations and just taken maybe both contracts out at the high. Especially in market conditions. I guess market conditions are slow, so why expect it to change? Another big thing, this big volume candle on the 1-minute chart, bigger than like the last 20 candles in either direction or like around it at all. It's almost always a turning point candle. If you look around on your charts and pick out the bottom candles on pivot points, it's going to have like substantially larger volume than candles around it. And in my mind, I was like, oh, well, I'll wait to see where this 1 minute closes because we had such a bullish candle approaching the line. and then in one split second it flicker sells all and like takes 3 points of profit away just instantly. So instead of having like a 300 and something winner, the same thing actually happened to me yesterday. My second contract got pinged out back at break even. And it was a beautiful spot to get 2 contracts in too, because you only had almost 2 points of risk, so it was perfect. My max loss that I try to use is 200, so if I can get 2 contracts in on a small entry like that, I'll do it. But Facebook still pushing up 2% today. I think it filled the gap now that it had, yeah, there was an unfilled gap. This market could still hold though and come right back up, but no entry position here for me. Excuse me a minute to go pee. Maybe possibly interested in another long opportunity at the lower side of this channel if it presented right. We've got the high 1 opportunity happening now, which we're not interested in. We know there's liquidity underneath some of these 5-minute candles. We still have a long bias, and it could just be a slow grind up, you know? We got our 1 tick poke now off the high 1 entry. Oh, it went 2 ticks. Okay, we're gonna check a little lower. So now we've actually stopped the 1 timing on the 5-minute a little bit. Nice. See, that would have been the trailed stop right there for these 1-minute traders that took the trade that I did. This is exactly what I expected to happen when we failed the top of the channel. So now let's see if maybe sellers step back in up at that level, or if we're going to get another rotation. With 5-minute risk limit order traders, you know, you're at the perfect long location, risking underneath 46.25, 46.50, sorry. And the premise behind that would be literally another leg up. pretty good signal off of the perfect liquidity spot. It's gonna retest. Okay, oh, my brackets aren't on. And 2 ticks under. All right, got a nice signal. We got our entry candle. Let's see if we get, we got our 2-legged pullback. We'll see if we rotate back to the top of the channel. No follow through yet though. Did that go any higher? Didn't, not yet. I don't like that 1-tick poke at all, actually. Like to see some bids get hit. Can we go one more tick? I would have a lot more confidence if we got a 50-50 print. Really need a 50-50 print. Okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna scratch this trade. Yeah, I'm gonna let it scratch it if it tags it here, just because I don't like this 5-minute presentation anymore. The more I look at it, the more it's making me not want this setup. Just because my target is so much higher that it makes me think that I'm gonna tag my head on this moving average and then fail here. Then I'd have to sit another pullback before we ultimately go higher, potentially. If the follow through was more aggressive quickly, I would have been more interested, I think. It still could potentially work, but From this liquidity area, I was really hoping for it to be a little faster. Show demand down in this level. Then I would have had a lot more confidence in the trade. With low demand at this area, and we know we have to test this moving average and then hold and then climb. I think I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm glad. Good read, good read. Good trade setup, no follow through. Now we'd be watching for the same premise here for this to break and then retest. Although that's not a poke. This is, there is sellers in this market. So good read. Are we gonna actually test this double bottom? Go through it maybe? Our long bias kind of just got broken because we stopped our stair step. Sellers may have re-entered the market. A nice volume spike on that candle. What's our contract count like? Minimal for A period. Pretty fucking minimal for B period too. Not gonna lie. I guess average-ish. Definitely not huge. This channel is no longer relevant for us right now. We can remove it. Facebook's still climbing. It's looking like a good day from Facebook so far. See if it gets rejected from this gap fill. Big volume on these two candles. We're getting a low a day hold. It's trying, that's for sure. I'm not interested in a long though. I mean, super low risk opportunity, like 2 or 3 ticks of risk if you like to trade that way. We kind of might have something like this going on. It doesn't really fit nice. Don't like it as much as I like that on channel. We're just chilling. If it comes back up and breaks above the high, then great. But I mean, that's a pretty strong bullish reaction. Also had big volume on those 2 candles. For limit order bots that are stair stepping, I mean, this is their short, risking off the high, looking for lower extension, which would keep the 5-minute chart from making higher high candles. 20 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. Did this go one tick below? 48.70. It did. So this would have potentially triggered in some short systems. There might be some people trapped short here if this breaks above 50.75, which would then give you a 2-bar reversal on the 5-minute chart and a trigger candle. So we could get a short squeeze right here. However, we did break below that 5-minute level, testing low a day. The way that I do my TA leads me to believe that potentially this level might be stronger now than our support. So I'm more short biased than long bias until we then confirm potentially the other way. We did not get any follow through yet off of what would have been a potential short stop out area. In fact, it actually only went one tick so far. If you were into short squeezing, you could potentially buy one tick above this. So 51.25, and your stop out would be 48.25. And then again, you'd be looking for a break of this. You're looking for a target up here somewhere. No follow through these last few days on these moves. Not in the morning sessions. You got a quick push and then like big chop. Had higher volume on that doji candle there, the last candle, but we're already higher than it. Maybe Friday we close as another inside day. We didn't break any daily levels. Slow grinding up here. Candles aren't going lower. That breakout long above that one tick poke's working out nicely. Your ultimate goal here is a break above 54. However, one thing to remember is that shorts were powerful enough up here at this level to push and break the stair stepping, but not by a lot. It looks like it is squeezing. Super cheeky mean reversion opportunity up here potentially as well. Could fade this breakout. We have gained volume a little bit in these last couple candles on this squeeze up. But we know that volume participation's low. We know it's Friday. It's also, you know, over an hour into the session. It's been pretty, you know, range bound now. Let's see how much of a break we get here. Imagine it double tops to the tick. Teasing. This is a fairly squeeze-ish push. Squeeze-ish. Every time that the market found a liquidity spot and tried to react from it whatsoever, there was enough people that were, I mean, this is how I would read it anyway, there was enough people that were stuck short. They were taking every opportunity that they could to get out of their position at the best price possible. So it was kind of feeding into that buys, you know. There's our break. So we never got a good short signal while we had our short bias, so we're chilling. And now I generally will mark these as yellow now because this actually broke the stair stepping and then instantly squeezed the other way. So I read that as a trap level. And often that those are, if you ever get a chance to risk to those at a later part in the session, I have good success with that. Now that we've broken into liquidity, the reaction tells the next story. We gotta wait. This would be your target. This is where people are shorting. We wait, see. It didn't fail by 1 or 2 ticks though, so it doesn't look bad at all. We may finally be getting our high a day test. Got to break above 55.75 first, and then ultimately 56.50. If we can get back above here, we should have a pretty easy run at yesterday's high. Bitcoin still hasn't broke that low that we were looking at. Certainly close. I would prefer to see it at least test under it. Not a fan of higher lows. For reversal, I mean. So we never even actually got a high 1 signal there. Five-minute chart does have lots of room to pull back and still be absolutely valid for everything. You know, we've got our 1 minute moving average here. which a dip tiny bit through would put us through this support, which may help find some liquidity. The breakout candle did close as a shooting star, almost. We may get a little bit of a pullback here. I'm not sure how aggressive this was a nice push up to test this level, but I'm not sure how aggressive of a long I want to take up here at this level with the condition of the day. It may rip right on through without me, but we've been very rangy other than this last quick push up, which, I mean, it wasn't quick, it was just a consistent grind worth of pressure. We never actually even went one tick below that bearish candle yet. Interesting. Already back testing the high. Do the longs overpower here and we go right up over? Kind of looks like it. No real setup for me, but that premise is like, I mean, breakout trade above that shooting star and you're looking for a higher profit target. That definitely would have some shorts trapped. Would have had them trapped even more if it went one tick below and initiated, but Facebook's still moving. Gap filled and just kept going, not giving a fuck. Bitcoin maybe pulling back down, looking like it wants to retest. Still looking for it to break below that 62.7 level. Nice, we did break above that almost shooting star. Yep. Good fall through squeeze. There's your break, nice clean break, a high a day, and I mean ultimately you're looking for a break of 59 and yesterday's high being 61.5 or whatever. If you got multiple contracts on the table, I would definitely take one off above 59. And then maybe ultimate target up 61.5, slightly above it. I'd look for a test above. There's your first target. That was a really nice short trap right there. Close that as almost a shooting star doji and then squeeze it straight against. And that's why that breakout trade above it works so well, because in theory, you should immediately get that stop flood and the push. If you don't, you could exit the trade right away because, you know, you're wrong, but this one had perfect follow through. So a test of yesterday's high, next target. You're like almost there. I don't know where this momentum came from. Like, why wasn't it here earlier? The only reason I didn't take this setup was just because really had no confidence there was going to be big momentum step in, but definitely shorts getting squeezed right here. We're growing volume. There's your test of yesterday's high. Does it poke above? Like to see it poke above. At least try. Yeah, there you go. Boom. What a trade. Pretty clean break too, actually. No absorption. Got good volume coming in and candles are growing. This could be a good push. It's a big candle. That was actually a much better opportunity than I even realized. We have growing volume. We've got one timing. We've got good opportunity for a possible one timing continuation trade entry. All qualifications are met if it sets up correctly. Looking to the left for liquidity points, I mean, you could be pretty aggressive and like really look for a big move here back up to 80. The day before's high. A lot of these levels have been tested and stuff on the way down. I mean, I wouldn't really be using them as targets. I'd be ultimately using somewhere between 75 and 80 as my next target. It's kind of in no man's land right now. Got less volume in the candle who closed a second ago. Might get a small pullback. This 5-minute candle though has almost as much volume as our opening candle. Did you long that breakout? Did you take it to where I suggested? Nice, good job. Getting some stalling here. Some people are going to be rushing in to get long. They're going to be wanting some of this push. Got good one timing action, growing volume. See if we can poke a little bit below here and see what happens. Be more interested then. There we go. Is it a one tick or do we get a little bit of a sell? This candle closed bullish off that one tick poke. I would absolutely be long. Looking for another extension up. Get ready here in case. Where do they close it? Didn't close nicely. Still gonna put my order one tick above it in case this thing flies up right now. If this goes lower first, I'll cancel the trade. Okay, canceled. We wait now. Very low volume on the profile or your histogram in these levels here. Got some accumulation above us and now it's empty below us for like 4 points. So if there's not any interest in here to hold, we're gonna come back down quickly. So be careful for that. Technically for me, there has not been a setup engage yet. Although it hasn't came down quickly yet. See what happens here. If it starts to come down quickly, yeah, just like that. There was a gap, right? We didn't grow anything in between, so if it didn't hold basically at the highs, we were going to get a deeper pullback. Oh, did Bitcoin check our... I went a little lower, but still I don't think broke that swing point. Not on Coinbase, at least. Didn't break it on Coinbase. Did it break it in the futures? Ooh, it definitely broke it on the futures. Interesting. So we got a nice 2-bar reversal. We got a little bit of a signal bar here now. Big risk though. Looks like it may just squeeze right up. Yep, there's your new high. We were looking for that setup, but was looking for it to happen before that happened, I guess. 2-bar reversal. Was a decent long right above the 2-bar reversal, so 63.50 entry. Would have been 3 points of risk. Not quite to 1-to-1 yet. Broke by 2 ticks so far. Not getting huge follow through yet. Here comes the break-even test. Be getting more and more nervous about this long because it only broke by a couple ticks and got instant reaction. But this is your break-even test right here. If this pops back up, you can at least remove some risk to break even. If you like to do that type of thing. Man, that was a great breakout buy above that bearish candle. Definitely those people that got short fueled that squeeze. Absolutely fueled that squeeze to break the high, which is why it was a great trade, right? The only reason I couldn't pull the trigger on it is because I just didn't have confidence in the day type. The volume participation, I didn't really expect that. But it do be like that. Just trying to hold this swing point. Can remove risk now. This candle went higher. Come up and have closer to a break-even entry now. Could even maybe put it to break even. I don't like to put it to break even until we do the test first and then we try to go again, because often you're going to get pinged out on that retest on any of these style of trades. It likes to test the point at which everyone got in, because why wouldn't it, right? Then you have contracts being moved around again. People got to make decisions. The market likes to do that. One of these days, one of you guys is going to write something in my chat. Be the first time chatter. We got another 1 tick extension. There we go. Yeah. Maybe we're entering, we got a spike, and now we're going to enter some form of channel maybe. Is this respecting a channel line? Maybe. Not really lining up nice for a channel yet, though. Certainly looks like the market wants to make a move to check check the high. Like I said, you know, like looking to the left, it's not a huge amount, not a huge amount of levels that I'd be using as profit levels. I mean, you can use these small little swing points, but I don't really like to. Maybe use bigger areas, you know. You can set it to the middle of stuff too, like maybe the middle of this area, middle of 70s type thing. But because often like it'll get close and then we'll accumulate a little bit, or maybe we have a small pullback, and then the ultimate profit target is always the liquidity area, always above this where the stop outs are. For me, like it seems to always push that extreme level. I mean, what a great push. Wow. Market even did kind of a two-legged pullback. It tried once, came down. This is a nice big candle. I should have been a little bit more ready there. To be honest, I was looking at another screen, look at my Facebook position, and kind of missed the entry. I'd be out of it now though. I would have taken it on this next rip. I would have moved to break even, and then on this push it would have hit my target. 2 to 1. I mean, we're still ripping though. Lots of candles in a row again. Inside candle breakout opportunity. The market just woke up all of a sudden. I mean, it wants to check there. It does. Literally like a magnet pulling it right now. It wants to get there. There's nothing else in the way. It's just a matter of profit takers and etc. So this was straight up a missed opportunity. Absolutely was. We were really patient, and we ended up actually getting a momentum step into the market, and we kind of we missed the entry. We flubbed the bag. We did have nice trades back here. Really nice trades back here. This thing's still ripping. Good market reading though. Like we had these levels marked out. We kind of knew what was going on. This was the expected outcome from that, right? Go back in the video. Literally, that's what we said. If we break out above that, you're getting a runner. There's blue skies until we get to breaking some daily highs now. And that is exactly what's happening. Great reads. Great read. This is the situation where you let a contract run, right? Not where I tried to do it back here. We knew the condition of the market here was not the same. That's something I'm really trying to work on. Need to let the runners run when it's the right situation. Might get another entry signal, entry opportunity here. This market still is moving, and right, this is our objective still. It's got to kind of give me the right setup. 5-minute chart is one time so far now. I would be okay with buying an inside candle. I really don't like to buy this way, so I'm not going to. I prefer to buy with that amount of pullback. It is trying to continue off it. Coming back to your break-even test right now. Didn't sell off yet. Might have to sit this one out. A little bit of a lapse here. It just reminds me how close of attention I need to be paying. I was busy looking at a different screen and missed my entry. Still interested though in a small 5-minute pullback entry. Just have to wait though. I'm not interested off a high one for the 1 minute. I'm more of interested in a little bit of a two-legged pullback. Maybe a pullback to the moving average would be okay. It depends how fast it happens though, because the time of day we're at 12:25 for me. I only trade for like another 15 minutes, half an hour tops. I always cut it off going into that 2.5 hour period. In the past, I've noticed that that is my limit. Going into that slow down period, that lunchtime hour, horrible track record. Trades look great for me. They never follow through. And in the afternoon, it's hit or miss. So I've over the time now, I've eliminated that time frame of the day for me. First 2.5 hours is my window. It's more than enough time to get trade opportunities. Looks like we might be starting our pullback here. First pullback. What a run. I'm not going to be buying this dip aggressively, so it's going to give me time to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Okay. Gonna watch this for another like 15 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna do my little daily review of my session at the end for the last 5 minutes, and then it'll be happy Fridays. Oh, somebody hit the like button, dude. Thank you. Dudette, dude, person. Appreciate that. Thank you. I just like sitting here. I'm trying to improve. I wanted to start live streaming because I thought that it would help me be more disciplined. I found that I was sitting here by myself and I would get bored or distracted, and the days that I did the best were the days that I talked out loud to myself constantly. So I figured, if I turned on a stream and talked the whole time, maybe it might help somebody learn as well. But mainly my goal was that it would help me just stay focused, talk all the time. It keeps me in the zone, I guess, if you will. Right back to the high, eh? I definitely can feel that my discipline has improved this week, though. I didn't take trades that I shouldn't take. That was the big thing. I'm really trying. I missed some good trades, and maybe I mismanaged some trades as well. I mean, that'll come with more practice still, but I'm really trying to eliminate random trades to at least improve my consistency with the couple things I'm trying to do. Only do those, and if at least then if I'm net negative, I have actual statistics that I can work from again. Not really a setup here for me. You could possibly high or low it, but not too interested. It's got to be pretty much perfect setup for me to get involved at this point, at this time of the day. Perfect setup for me would be for us to come back down, go below this swing point by one tick, and then give a nice bullish signal. That would be pretty much what I'm looking for. And if it doesn't follow through that way, then it is what she be, how she do. It's definitely trying to hold a higher low. We are very extended right now. That was a pretty aggressive push. Yeah, there's your break of the high. One tick so far. This pause is nice. You know, it's the first pause on the move. It's relatively small. So again, it shows lots of demand. You could expect a decent push off this second leg still. It didn't form the way that I wanted it for an entry, so unfortunately I'm not involved. But that is okay. 75.50, 76 and a quarter. So it broke by 3 ticks. This is kind of like a pause, pull back here to maybe shake some people out before we go, or maybe we reject this level. It's definitely not a good breakout signal, though. This is kind of a failed breakout at this point, but not entirely until we get to the low, but it's definitely not what you want to see. Got this rising support here. We'll see if it'll hold or not. Could be a little shakeout before we go, but this amount of momentum and squeeze up, we would really want this continuation to kind of have some follow through pretty quick as well. Wouldn't really want to be teasing the breakout and immediately going the other way. Not what we want to see. I will say that if this market does come down and breaks this swing low, this 5-minute swing low, that will be the end of the session for your boy. Pretty much approaching that time. I'll do my review. I've been teaching my wife, working with my wife on trading, and so she sits behind me and just trades off of my talking and a few of our strategies. She actually finished really nice today. I think she finished up 450 or 550. She actually broke out traded this trade right here. This was her big banger. Was a good call, a good setup. It gave a lot more than I expected, I'm not gonna lie. The choppier part of the day just had me kind of leaning towards more range-ish day. Was not really expecting this. However, once it did break above without didn't even go one tick below to initiate the, like, you know, breakout traders the other way, playing off that candle. Their orders never even got filled. So, like, it's crazy that squeezed that well, really, to me. But it sure did. And then we had a nice entry right here for continuation that we flubbed the bag. Facebook up 4% today, boys. That call and at yesterday's close. Bought the gap fill, waited all day for it. Great play. This is a swing trade for me, though. I'm looking for holding this for much more than a few days. I really shouldn't even be looking at it like I am. Just excited, I guess. This is the Facebook trade. Daily chart, perfect bottom right on that meta we have been watching. We got our trend line break, first break of the trend line, push a new extreme. So right there is our first trigger for possible trend reversal. We got our metaverse announcement, which gave a nice bullish candle, and we got some follow through by retail. We bought that next day breakout, and then added yesterday on this. We knew there'd be a pullback after it confirmed the W. So on that pullback I was watching, I saw the nice gap fill between sessions. Looks like a good spot to add. Waited. Was good. Bitcoin selling a little bit. We did finally break below that 62.7 low. It's funny, what I really need to do is I need to stop looking at other stuff while I trade the futures, though. Really focus on the futures, because I definitely miss I miss stuff. I missed that entry solely because I was like, look at my Facebook position. Kind of a little bit of a rookie mistake. Decent pattern, really, for sure. Definitely a decent pattern here. Could be a similar situation where we got our little bit of a sell-off, and the squeeze above it will be the next push. But I like that where it came to, because counting legs for me, this swing high, it took this whole move to break it. So to me, this swing point is irrelevant. It's this major swing point. So the fact that the chart came below here but held here means it tested the perfect spot. Some stops would have been there, some liquidity would have been there, and we did get a bullish reaction off of that level. The only thing I don't like about this trade is that none of these candles went higher first. If, for example, if this green candle would have went a little higher than the previous one to initiate some longs that way, and then this happened, and then we got the bullish reaction, I could have read it as two-legged. But technically, for me right now, this is one move, and we're in the like A, we're in B, and we might still get C, right? I need to see A, B, C before I take an entry, unless the only time that I won't is in these situations, which is why I was going to breakout trade right here, but it never happened. It pulled back a little lower, which is the same reason I could have bought here, but never happened. We didn't get her. So we do the big sit and wait now again. It's 1:45. It's probably where I'm going to call it. Volume is slowing during this accumulation, which makes sense. We are accumulating up here though at the high, so it definitely could continue, but I think I'll watch this for a second on the 5-minute on the other screen here, and I'm going to start my review of the day of our trades. So this first setup was a two-legged pullback setup, which was great. I had my target set for the actual gap fill level, which we never did achieve. So there is still a small gap down there. It's set up beautifully. We had a nice start to the push down. We had a short bias. We got our first leg. So we got our A, B, C move. Went one tick above and gave a bearish reaction. Lined up perfectly. Went short one tick below our signal candle. We did get some follow through. And then we held for the retest. Went a tiny bit lower. allowed me to move my stop to eliminate some risk, and then never actually got the push through. Ended up coming back up and squeezing us out. Perfect management, great trade setup. Take it 10 out of 10 times. No improvements. Done. Just is what it is. This trade, however, slight improvements could be done. We knew the context of the market at this point was kind of slow, kind of grindy, and we had a clear channel developing that we absolutely were playing off of. So when we approached it, we knew, I think I actually had it drawn a little differently at the time. I think I had it drawn like this. Yes, I did. So we knew, same thing, right? We got our two-legged pullback, went one tick below. We got our bullish reaction right off the moving average too. And we had switched to long bias because we had double bottom reversed and then held and then went lower, or sorry, went higher. So we were approaching longs only, not looking for shorts at this point. We got our two-legged pullback. We took the long. We had first contract set at the trend line. Second one, we were looking for a high at a test. Never got it. And looking back, we knew the kind of condition that we were in. It would have made more sense to just take it out up here as well. And then, you know, I would have had a much bigger P&L if I would have traded what was happening and not what I expected to happen. So great trade setup, great entry, good management. The only thing that was done incorrectly was the way that I did my target. I expected a little bit too much out of this target, and I was humming and hawing as it was breaking here. And I said to myself, well, if we start to get a bearish candle, I'm not going to let the position come against me. I'm going to get out. But then it like basically took 3 points of profit away like instantly. So it is what it is. That was the improvement we could have done here. This trade here was a little sketchy. I knew that still playing into the trend line, we broke down to the right spot, right? I know that if the 5-minute chart's pulling back, we were coming to test that level. The likelihood we're going to break 1-minute supports, which would have stopped out the initial trade. That's why I don't hold during that pullback. Unfortunately, we did not hold. I knew that the initial entry looked good and the follow through started to look okay, but then after it literally failed to even get back up into the channel, I didn't want to sit the further pullback. So we got out at break even on that one because we just weren't getting the follow through. For that type of trade, that big of a pullback on that system, it should have sprung back up in and it would have given me more confidence. But because it didn't, we didn't hold the trade. And then the next trade setup didn't come to here, which was just completely missed because I was looking at the other screen and I flubbed the bag. Realistically, this trade setup would have had a breakout trade here. This pullback came back in. As soon as this candle went up, we would have moved our stop up to here, and then we got our nice move up, and then we could have trailed the stop up to this guy right here, moved up again, and it would have tagged out the runner right there. So that was ultimately like a very large winning trade that was just missed. My fault. It's the way it is. And then we haven't got another trade signal yet. So yeah, you guys had a good time. Good first week. Be back at it again on Monday morning, same time, 10 minutes before open. And if you trade the rest of the day, good luck. Trade safe.